Warning. The following video may contain broken English. Please watch and listen to it carefully. Everything shown or mentioned in this video, along with the music, can be a hint to something even bigger. Viewer discretion is advised.
This time, with the project Drown Together Legacy's working on, the themes are a little bit different from what you would expect to see on Drown Together. I'm taking on some very heavy subjects, such as character assassination and propaganda media. This makes the tone much darker, but don't worry, the housemates are still the same persons you know and love. Only this time it will be a big, long, larger-than-life animated motion picture. It doesn't feel like a stretched-out episode of the TV show, but it will still contain more of everything. As a result, I wanted the characters to have a much wider range of interaction in scenes full of action, and much more confrontation with supporting roles, without damaging the charm of a chamber player or that of a sitcom. Also, while over 50% of the movie's total running time will play outside of the Drown Together house, the house itself will still fulfill all the functions a fan would like to see, and it remains the central location for the plot. It's the natural environment of the 8 housemates, and creates a feel of hospitality in the heart of long-time fans. And this will be so for the whole film, from start to finish. So you don't have to expect the Drown Together house to be destroyed during the first 22 minutes like back then in the Drown Together movie, the movie. Furthermore, the story takes place after the final episode of Season 3, right after the events of this particular episode. Sadly, Brian Dunkelman won't be in it for a long time because of... well, you'll see. So I was having an idea for a nice little script back then in 2007, and despite all the troubles I had back then in my personal life, I started to write it in the same year and finished the rushed draft in 2010. It was like 350 pages long, and I wrote it down to 224 pages. This final version was finished in March 2013, and after that I started to terminate a few errors all by myself. And it had to be faithful to the source material, the characters. For example, whenever I think of Foxy Love, I think of a certain voice delivery. She is a mystery-solving musician, and she is also somewhat of the backbone to the cast. In this story, everything around her is portrayed with a level of mystery to it. It's an honor to write for all these characters. During this time I learned many things in many areas. If you ask me, Drown Together has an unbelievable legacy, hence the name, and I've put all the love, blood, sweat and the little rest of money I had into it for a reason. It's my dream, and Drown Together simply has to come back like this. I felt that it was something big in terms of laughs and storytelling, so I had to become more effective. I'm not a rich person, you know, and because of my medical condition, having a job is not possible for me at this point. Still, I want to realize the movie like it should be realized, and not turn it into some kind of Newgrounds project or something. I, or should I say we, need help. This movie is my love letter to you, the Drown Together house, and all those beautiful moments of love, laughs, offensive provocation, racism, farts, and useless acts of physical violence. I immediately understood what it was about, what I was looking for, and what would be waiting for me. And I would be very proud and moved by your commitment to the project as well. That's why I appreciate every single donation submitted at the official Drawn Together Legacy website. For example, for a hit and miss execution of the movie, $10 million are needed, while 20 to, let's say, $30 million would be an ideal budget. And with $60 million, well, it would be absolutely riskless. Please keep in mind, the movie should reach a global audience. Being stingy is not allowed, and I guarantee all the money, every donation and other earnings, without any exception, will be used for the project only.
Does that mean that you will buy loads of microwave burgers and hot dogs and maybe some Red Bull to keep yourself cheery while riding treatments?
Well, I'm sure that some of the budget will end up in catering. Also, every single person who gives us some money will get a place in the ending credits. And the ones who donate an at least 3-digit amount of money, starting at $500, will earn a short guest appearance in the final movie. But keep in mind, this is Drawn Together we are talking about, so please don't get mad if... Don't worry, you will not be featured in any kind of sexual situation. At least not sexual situations of the traditional kind. You could also call and buy Comedy Central to support my plans. Of course, I was thinking about Kickstarter as a possibility, but since I'm neither an United States citizen nor a citizen of the United Kingdom or Canada, this is not an option for me. And I'm not owning the rights to Drawn Together anyway, not now. Maybe a few trusting fans, who are coincidentally millionaires or billionaires, will give me all the money I need. In comparison to other things, the rights to Drawn Together might not be that expensive, and the rest of the cash could be used for the movie itself, who knows? Or I'll wait for it till Christmas, but I can probably forget that wish to become true. Damn it, Norrit, why do you guys track Santa anyway? Because of you he became paranoid and stopped visiting me for more than... sorry. Back on topic, that's why I'm now asking you for permission, Comedy Central, or rather Paramount Pictures and Viacom as a whole. And of course, we would still need help from... And eventually 20th Century Fox too. Think about it. That would be your first super big co-distributed movie since Titanic. Imagine the movie poster. Woohoo! Distribution rights and profit would be portioned fair and square, and I will not keep any kind of profit for myself, of course. Still, I would be really happy and also thankful for a small amount of salary for my work as the writer, producer and director of this movie. But for the most part, and this is the most important factor for me, all I insist on is to own total control over the movie, its production and the following Drawn Together related things. The complete, uncompromised realization of the story presented in my script, the character of Steve from Long Island, all of his and other characters' blood-related family members, the Drawn Together fictional universe timeline, and everything else happening in the Drawn Together universe outside of JD. This contains total control over the special features presented on the subsequent Blu-ray and DVD releases of this film, possible upcoming video games, comic books or other Drawn Together related spin-off movies, TV shows and specials. That's fair enough, I think, especially the material revolving around Steve from Long Island. That's where I could truly set myself free as an artist. Think about the possibilities, the Fox engine. Drawn Together always divided the viewers into 3 factions. Those who laughed their butts off, those who can simply enjoy watching it with a few laughs here and there, and, how could I forget, those who simply hate it more than Toot hates fat-free sour cream. This movie should win some new fans to the cause, and eventually people who never even called themselves fans will take a closer look on Drawn Together as a whole. But I didn't turn it into a thing for every person on the world. That was never the goal. It is still totally over the top, but with a new kind of epicness to its story and the way how it is presented, with all the different dynamic camera angles and the music to name a few essential elements of the formula. It's spectacular. In terms of camera work, I drew many inspirations from the works of some of my favorite directors, like Quentin Tarantino and Ryuhei Kitamura. When talking about the music, I think of artists like Akihiro Honda, Norihiko Hibino, Jamie Christopherson, Tyler Bates, Lorne Belf and LL Cool J, only to name a few I would love to work with. Not to mention Werner Tautz, Eben Schletter and all the funny compositions that made Run Together always so special and even funnier. Those audio tracks will not be missed, I promise you. That and the way the music follows the characters and how they act and interact with a lot of stuff during the course of the story. This is still one of the most important points to think of. Comedy has to be funny after all, not only in the visuals but also in the audio department. Thanks to the top-notch voice acting delivered by the known and loved main cast, along with many Drawn Together newcomers like Rob Paulson, Tom Kenny, Lee Merriweather, Paul Mercier, Robert England, Jackie Earl Haley and David Hayter. In the English version, the German, Japanese and every other version in any language will be handled by high standards as well. It will be a great success. I think it will turn out to be something truly special. I already sent an email to James Arnold Taylor, but unfortunately, according to his agent, he has currently no time to help us with the project. A few Wooler sockbed samples containing some lines from the movie would have been great promotion material, but who cares? His agent said he's flattered and wishes us the best luck and success we can have with bringing Drawn Together back and so on. So all I gotta say is, to come on working time, coming soon, Mr. Taylor. Again, the money is just a means to an end. I will not and do not want to become rich with this project, except the rightful owners and the possible box office success wanted to be so. I am 100% on the side of art, and art itself has nothing to do with money. This is the legacy we want for ourselves, Drawn Together legacy. Trying to isolate what the fans want for the future, and I'm the biggest Drawn Together fan you could possibly imagine, without simply writing a big fanfiction, but creating an homage to the original Drawn Together TV show, making a final point for the known, and opening a door to the unknown. That was the priority. All other priorities are rescinded, simply having a good time and eventually having something to think about after the movie has ended. This is the first animated comedy epic of its kind, despite of a few CGI effects and some real handmade and hand-controlled puppets. All of it in connection with absurd, offensive, sexy, disgusting, wacky or simply plain stupid moments as we all like to see. But the whole cartoon aspect and little touches, such as the Star Wars parodies, and that hilarious, very exaggerated kind of gore humor seen in many moments on the show, will have their places in this romantic social satire. Coming back to the high production costs, the movie will be traditionally drawn frame by frame by hand. The Korean child laborers, I mean the hardworking artists, drawing all these massive loads of pictures, need to be paid for their job. Also, the movie is not allowed to look cheap. It should really look like the show, maybe a little bit more polished with some nice 4K resolution, better, more atmospheric lighting effects, especially in the darker scenes, and even some scenes including real-life action and 3D rendered backgrounds. But it should never, at any point, look worse compared to the fantastically done original TV show. It should be worthy of Foxy, Wuldor, Clara, Toot, Xander, Ling-Ling, Spanky and Captain Hero, as well as of the mysterious 9th housemate we've always overlooked in the show, despite he's been always in front of our noses. Guess our noses had been out in the cold too long. It will also satisfy animation lovers and proves the point that the classic ink and paint method should never come to an end. This project differs from any other crowdfunding or internet campaign that I've ever heard of, and there is not much out there that hasn't been done already. It's technically starting to cross a line of what is going on and what the fans of Drawn Together can achieve. It's exciting to be a part of it. I wanted to try to see just how far I could go and create a truly great, entertaining and in some twisted kind of way believable incarnation of Drawn Together, which fits in perfectly with the already established source material. And I actually know how to end it. That's what you always wanted, isn't it, Entertainment Weekly? To Dave Jazza and Matt Silverstein, the creators of Drown Together, thank you for making all of this possible in the first place. This has been an unbelievable experience, and I hope you and the viewers alike will be enjoying the movie as much as I have enjoyed making it. And remember, in the 5th act of the movie, there is a small but big enough window I opened for you. So if you ever decide to come back and continue Drown Together as a TV show, no matter how, done in Flash or traditionally, or maybe with an even cheaper method, there will be nothing standing in your way. As long as it doesn't ruin my movie, its message, and all the stories linked directly to it, of course.
Simon says it's biblical in scale.
The story has been designed as a comedy epic to show more of everything. It's different from what most people might expected after all Drown Together was going through after its cancellation, and results in a more tension-packed experience. This new style of cinematography, along with the crude humor and stereotypical while also believable acting animated characters, love of detail, as well as some interesting philosophical themes and cool cameo appearances, will add more depth and humor than ever before to the storytelling and atmosphere. Please spread the word, or rather this video, and look forward to the final product.
Thank you.
Es kommt du. Did you rag it?
So she's pretty foxy?